Hello and welcome to the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter Sim Racing League, live tonight for the first time from Willow Springs International Raceway, about an hour north of Los Angeles. This is a very historic racetrack, founded in 1953, 2.5 miles here in the middle of the desert, as you can see, and the site of a lot of automotive testing for performance cars, and it is one of the fastest and most challenging racetracks in North America. And we'll have the GT4 machines here for the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter here tonight. Small field, just 8 drivers currently queued up to race, and we are wrapping up the qualifying session. But it's going to be a fun one here tonight. The heat and the feature format that we have done. So 20-minute heat, 20-minute feature. We are doing a field invert once again. That is going to be how we go about things here tonight. So let's take a look at the starting grid here from Willow Springs for the first time in this league, and the first time I've been here, first time many of these drivers will have been here. Let's take a look at where everyone is rolling off here tonight. We're going to go close up and personal with each of these drivers. Colin Kortnick going to be rolling off from the front spot in race number 1. It's going to be Scott Kim starting alongside him in the number 2 position, rolling off from 3rd. It's going to be David Curtis in the 43 machine. Matthew Gazenda starting from the 4th spot. Mike Nickham rolling off from 5th in the green and black flame machine. Perry Duncan making his return, one of the sponsors for Duncan Racing Designs. He's going to be starting from the 6th spot. Aaron Dietrich going to be rolling from the 7th in the University of Kentucky machine, and then Bruce Wiley in the Canada Mobile going to be rolling off from that final position in 8th spot to start things off tonight. We will pull up the track map. If you're not familiar with this track, just 9 corners. Might seem simple, as you can see it up there on the screen, but a lot of elevation change. Going to make for very interesting racing here tonight. Cheer on your favorite driver. Let us know you're out there, who you're rooting for, and who do you think is going to win tonight here at Willow Springs in race number 5 of this 9-race season? It's good to be back after a week off. Hope everyone enjoyed the 4th of July here in the United States last week. I know we've got a lot of international drivers and fans that tune in, as well as the field getting slowed up here to work into the starting zone, as we are going at a very slow pace, 30 miles an hour. I think we're about to get to that starting zone where Colin Kortnick and Scott Kim, the front row, going to get us going. Green flag in the air. Off and away for the heat race here tonight at Willow Springs. The field now working through turns 1 and 2, this early S section of the track. And it is Colin Kortnick hanging on to the top spot for the moment. David Curtis has slid into 2nd. Scott Kim back to 3rd. We are side by side. Perry Duncan and Aaron Dietrich at the back of the field. Mike Nickham under attack from Perry Duncan. Really great looking scenery here. Got to commend iRacing. We're doing a good job with that, as they are working up through the elevation changes. The field's still closely packed, and I don't think there's going to be a huge spread amongst the field here tonight. Is Bruce Wiley, fastest in qualifying, going to go for a slide off the track. Aaron Dietrich also going to go for a slide, as we will take a look at what happened. If they made some contact here, looking at the replay. And he gets on the curb, and yeah, big hit there to Bruce Wiley. So 2 of the quickest cars in the race. Take another look at it. Just goes a little too hot, too low into the corner. Makes contact, goes around. Taking Bruce Wiley with him. Going to be interesting to see what kind of damage we've got on those race cars as they do get rolling once again. But well behind the rest of the field, as Colin Kortnick will lead lap 1, but he is under fire, 3 wide for the lead. Scott Kim's gonna try and take it, and he will take it. Assertive right there, assertive driving from Scott Kim to take the top spot. And the Porsches, we got 2 Porsches leading the field. Matthew Gazenda trying to make a move in the Mercedes. Really tight racing as David Curtis trying to hold on to his spot in fourth. Mike Nickum right there behind him. Perry Duncan as well in his return to the league. Gazenda tries to set it down in contact right where we saw the last one. Mike Nickum goes for a drift through the grass, or the dirt rather, and he'll hang on, and Perry Duncan able to hang on as well. We will go on board here with Colin Kortnick trying to track down Scott Kim. And we'll go on board here for the first bit of this lap, and then we'll jump back out. This is your run down the front stretch across the start-finish line, headed towards turn number 1. Downshift a couple times there. Wait on getting back on the throttle. Stretch to turn number 2. Scott Kim goes for the wide line through that one. Colin keeps it pinned down here by the white line. And switch back. Now uphill, really steep climb up the banking. Still climbing up to the right. Almost a little bit like the opposite of the corkscrew. As I think Colin under pressure from David Curtis at the moment. But working their way through the final few corners. We're gonna have a long right-hand turn here. And then another one to get back onto the front stretch. So you're building speed all the way up to that one as Scott Kim goes off into the dirt, heads towards pit lane. And that's gonna do a lap around Willow Springs on board with Colin Kortnick. But here he comes with a run up for a challenge for the lead. Into turn number 1, he'll take the lead away from Scott Kim. And we still have 5 cars right here in this lead pack. Mike Nickum still pointed in the right direction, about 3.5 seconds behind. But again, cheer on your favorite driver. Let us know you're out there and how you're enjoying this one so far from Willow Springs, this historic racetrack built in 1953, home of a lot of historic SCCA, IMSA, Trans Am events, things like that over the decades. Side by side for second, David Curtis going to take that one away. And look at Mike Nickum. He has closed back up to this pack, only about a second behind Perry Duncan. So as these guys battle, the 57 is closing. A really cool scenery here in the middle of the desert, essentially. You can see there, just not much in the background. These cars race down this long front stretch. Back to turn number 1, Colin Kortnick in the lead, and he's got David Curtis, the BMW GT4, chasing him down. The Dell Technologies Porsche number 32 hangs on to it. Got Kim having a strong race as well. I know there's a small field tonight, but... oh, he's going to get tagged by Matthew Gazenda, who's going to go wide now into the dirt and have some nose damage. He gets passed up. Mike Nickum goes on by. As take another look at what just happened there. Goes late on braking and really hard into the back. Sends him completely offline. We go back live now. Colin Kortnick still hanging on by a couple of tenths, couple car lengths. And that gap shrinking as they head back towards the start-finish line. And it'll be a nice long run down the stretch here with draft to the 43 of David Curtis. Oh, he's gonna get right up to the bumper of the Team Gas Burn Porsche. PRK Drums in the chat cheering on David Curtis, who is now trying to get to the race lead. Colin Kortnick goes a little wide off the corner, but not going to lose any momentum. Battle for third. Perry Duncan sends it down the inside. But this track is pretty difficult to make some passes on. You can see he might be in the preferred groove. A lot of switchbacks and elevation change make it difficult to complete a pass in that section of the racetrack. Scott Kim hangs on to third position. Mike Nickum has closed up, still about 0.8 of a second behind fourth. Couple of two-car tandems side by side. Here goes Perry Duncan. Trying to complete that pass. They'll be neck and neck down the front stretch. But no, he actually lost a lot of momentum through the final corner. And here comes Mike Nickum, full head of steam. Not going to go full-out attack there behind the maximum attack machine. But how about change for the race lead? David Curtis to the top of the board. Colin Kortnick really pushing the issue, goes wide through there, trying to get that car to rotate underneath him, but not getting the turn out of it at this point in the run. Definitely a lot of good racing here in such a small field. 2 by 2 really. Scott Kim goes deep in that corner. That's going to put him way offline. Here goes Perry Duncan. Big charge on the outside. They're going to be bumper to bumper, fender to fender. The Porsche going to try and make that back up on the front stretch. He will race in behind Perry Duncan as the BMW is starting to come to life. Now as we approach the halfway point in race 1. He's going to clip the dirt a little bit. Hard to see out the windshield. But how about Bruce Wiley making up a ton of time? Has now gotten in within 11 seconds of the race lead and only about 4.7 behind 6th place. Still could have an opportunity for a top 5 even after the run-in with Aaron Dietrich on lap number 1. Battle for the lead still raging. Colin Kortnick trying to get back alongside. David Curtis maybe just a little bit smoother through the curvy section of this track. Colin had a really good start to this one though. Started in the lead, led the first 4 laps. We're currently on lap number 8. David Curtis just took that race lead. And now there will be a little bit of slipstream. Once again, Colin Kortnick, what can he do on the front stretch to close that gap back up? Perry Duncan's broken away quite a bit from Scott Kim. Got back to 4th after a very good start to this one. He's actually led a couple of laps. With that bright green machine out in front of the field. Matthew Gazenda in 5th after starting 4th. Mike Nickum in 6th after starting in 5th, trying to make up ground after his early excursion. And Bruce Wiley started tail end. He's up 1 spot right now, but no fault of his own to be back in this position. Aaron Dietrich got into him after a little bit of a shallow entry to a corner. You can see the damage on the right front. He finds himself tail end of the field, about 31 seconds back, but fastest car on the racetrack, so driver to watch for as they'll invert the field for race 2. And maybe an issue for Matthew Gazenda. I'm going to go back and take a look at what happened right here. Seemed to be a tricky part of the racetrack. These guys have all had small issues through there, but Matt able to get it back on track. He finds himself behind Bruce Wiley now. A little bit spread out for the moment. Just the closest battle is for the lead, and it's about a half second, so we'll keep our eyes on this. Harry Duncan also about a second a lap faster than these drivers. He could very well be up in the mix. Of course, Duncan Racing Designs, one of the sponsors of the series. Make sure to check them out in the video description, and you'll hear more at the halfway break as well. Scott Kim in fourth. Mike Nickum trying to close back in on him, currently in the top 5. And Bruce Wiley is tracking them down. He is about 2.8 seconds behind Nickum now. And we'll see what the lap times are at the line. But Mike Nickum, fastest car on the track that time. Bruce Wiley about 0.3 slower. And this time Perry Duncan only about 0.4 quicker, but he's brought it now under 2.7 seconds as the battle for the lead only about 2 car lengths. There you see David Curtis, the green machine. Colin Kortnick pushing the boundaries of the racetrack over the curb as they weave their way downhill towards the back end of the racetrack, turns 8 and 9. Sweeping turn number 8, turn 9. Got to slow down a little bit more. You'd think it'd be just as inviting to go almost full throttle through. That is not the case as they splash on past, clipping the grass there a little bit. David Curtis, really nice lap from him. Goes a second quicker than Colin Kortnick. Harry Duncan still a half second faster though. He is gonna be close by the end of this race. And in his return, can he win the heat race? Scott Kim, very commendable race as well. Started to fall off a little bit past the halfway point. Still hanging on pretty nicely. Bruce Wiley's gone to 5th position. Mike Nickum has had some sort of problem. See if we can find out what happened to him here. Oh, went for a little off-road drive. Woo! Oh man, that is not the racetrack. Able to get it back pointed in the right direction before that wall started. Otherwise, he might have been out of luck there. I hope everybody's enjoying the new overlays, new graphics. Eddie Smith on our team here at V-Speed, putting together some awesome animations and things for us. This is kind of the first test run for my setup, but he put together some really nice improvements and continuing to get better and better as Matthew Gazenda has brought it to pit lane. What's happened here? Also went off-roading. Drifts out too far wide, and I think this might end with a collision. Oh, big hit. And then I think he gets beached as well, but ends up towing it to pit lane, where he will most likely sit out the rest of the way. But how about this? 3 cars now under a blanket, 3 minutes left in this race. Perry Duncan is there, and he is fast. Currently a second quicker than the top 2. And these guys just, they haven't built up that consistency yet at this racetrack. They're all kind of racing here for the first time, understanding what their cars are doing through a race. Here comes Perry Duncan with a nice draft down the front stretch, closing in on Colin Kortnick. 2 laps remaining in this one. And who is it going to be out of these top 3? Who's going to win it? Really entertaining stuff here tonight at Willow Springs in the opening heat race. Oh no, Perry Duncan goes off. Oh my goodness, what a great race for himself. It's gonna go up in smoke here. We're gonna go take a look at what happened. Gets the back end to kick out, I think. Oh man, and then big hit there. And he is not going to be happy about that one. He'll have a shot in race number 2. And now it's just on between the top 2 as they're coming back to the white flag. David Curtis with 0.6 of a second in hand over Colin Kortnick. And Bruce Wiley, after all he's been through here tonight in the first race, looks like he might end up back on the podium. White flag in the air for the field. The top 2, keep the eyes on them. On board with Colin Kortnick. He's going to have to send it deep in a couple of these corners. Going to have to try things he hasn't tried yet. But now is the time to push the issue. Nice run into that corner, but a little bit offline through the next set of turns. So he gains on entry, but loses as they work back down the start of the hill. Now where everyone is really run into trouble tonight, he does go a little bit wider. Tighter line for David Curtis, who hangs on to the top spot, 0.6 of a second. Only a few more corners, and 2 of them nearly full throttle through the kink. David Curtis now headed towards the long sweeping right-hander. Turn number 8. Colin Kortnick not close enough to do anything about it. It's going to be David Curtis in the opening race here tonight, holding on and taking the heat race win at Willow Springs. He is going to get it done. No other battles on track. So we're going to take a look at the results. 3 lead changes in that one. You can see how your drivers finished here this evening. Mike Nickham maybe with a problem, actually. Yeah, he's gone off in the last corner. He's going to lose the spot to Aaron Dietrich before these results are finally tabulated. And that's how it's going to end up here at the end of race 1. Matthew Gazenda there, 3 laps down. His issues compounding at the end of that race. We are going to go to a halfway break. We'll be back to interview one of our top finishers there in race number 1, and we will be right back. SEOMike helps businesses of all sizes achieve higher search engine rankings to drive more traffic and increase sales. Contact SEOMike today for a free website evaluation and quote. Mention this ad for 15% off your initial setup. SEOMike, marketing websites on the internet since 1997. Visit SEOMike.com. From the starting line to the finish line, and everything in between, Duncan Racing Designs is here to supply you with the livery you didn't know you needed. Let DRD help you look good so you can drive fast. Contact Duncan Racing Designs on Instagram, Trading Paints, or via email. And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there, cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The Milo gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
Zwack. A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Back at the racetrack, about to get things started for race number 2, the feature race here tonight. See if we can talk to David Curtis about his victory there in race number 1. See if we can get him up into the booth. David Curtis, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy. Well, you held off a hard-charging Colin Kortnick there, and also Perry Duncan was starting to close in. You know, you're through your first race here at Willow Springs, first time the league's been here. Was there anything you learned that you can carry over to race 2 now that you got to make your way through the field? Yeah, we definitely saw that was a problem for a lot of guys. As soon as they stepped the tire wrong, it was pretty much over from there. But good luck here in race number 2. All right. That is David Curtis, race winner in the heat race. As we're going to go through our starting grid, Matthew Gazenda, Mike Nickum, your front row. Aaron Dietrich, Perry Duncan, row number 2. Scott Kim, Bruce Wiley going to be row number 3, and then Colin Kortnick and David Curtis, who are up front for so much of that last one, going to be starting from the back row. Going to have their work cut out for them here in race number 2. David Curtis going to be able to take the win in this one as well and be our first sweep of the season. Tough to say. Not a big field, so it might be the best opportunity, but going to have a challenge to try and pass all of these drivers, some of them very quick. I think Bruce Wiley. We're about to get things going. Cheer him on, let him hear that you're out there here for race number 2 from Willow Springs. Matthew Gazenda, that pink, white, and black Mercedes-AMG GT4 machine. Gonna lead the field, and what a start for Perry Duncan. We're nearly 4 wide, and Perry Duncan gonna go straight to second spot, or try to take second spot. And he's gonna try and redeem himself after the late mistake in race 1, as he is gonna race alongside Aaron Dietrich, who was quick in qualifying. 3 wide further back, Scott Kim, Bruce Wiley, Colin Kortnick, as well as David Curtis, rounding out the field. Ooh, I thought I saw some contact or something. Perry Duncan a little wide through the corner right there. Everybody doing a good job at this point. This is where we saw our first incident of the last race, and it was side by side just like this. Colin Kortnick keeps it on the track. And Bruce Wiley putting up battle here, this 5th and 6th. And man, this is a fast part of the track to be side by side. And we've seen drivers go a little too deep in the final corner. Maybe Colin Kortnick does that here, has to back out of it, and that'll give a good run to Bruce Wiley. Mike Nickum with problems, just like he did at the last lap of the last race. Keeps it rolling, didn't make contact with the wall. Side by side back into turn 1 as Matthew Gazenda has led lap 1. top three scooting away. This is 4th through 8th. Sorry, 4th through 7th in this pack. And they've already lost 3.5 seconds to Perry Duncan. Aaron Dietrich, you see him slide in the back of that BMW M4. A couple tires off there for Perry Duncan. Issues for Colin Kortnick. He's off-roading it. Oh no, and Scott Kim's around. Taking a look at what happened to Scott. There's Colin with his problems. Scott just, I think, lost it separately. Colin goes wide on the outside, and then Scott, I'm not sure if he went to go check up and lost the back end of the race car. I'm not too sure. We go back live. We've had a change for the lead. Matthew Gazenda with problems. Let's see what happened to him. He goes well off the track. Aaron Dietrich now takes this top spot, and Perry Duncan went with Matthew Gazenda. Possibly issues for Bruce Wiley or David Curtis. I think it's just a change for position that happened right at that same moment. Go back to live. It is still these two out in front, Perry Duncan, Aaron Dietrich. As they work their way through turn number 9. Down the front stretch, it's still going to be Aaron Dietrich leading the way, but Perry Duncan been very fast here tonight, and Matthew Gazenda back on track. See if he can track those two down. Now you got David Curtis and Bruce Wiley nose to tail. Colin Kortnick a ways back, Mike Nickham, and then Scott Kim having to get his car pointed back around his 26 seconds off the leader. I think struggling a little bit here to find that consistency in the feature race after a very strong opening few laps for the 7-Eleven machine. In the that was in the heat race that he was very strong. And as these two ride nose to tail, that is going to allow Matthew Gazenda to close up a little bit. You can see he's already starting to track them back down. Aaron Dietrich going to be looking out that mirror. Now working down the front stretch, still nose to tail. Really tight battle for the lead. Perry Duncan is there. Little wider arc on entry, trying to get a good run out. And like you see in NASCAR, when these guys are pretty close together, you're gonna get that draft. You get a little bit of a tandem draft working, and then drivers who are on their own, like Matthew Gazenda, you know, maybe gonna struggle in comparison. Got a change for position, 6th and 7th. Colin Kortnick has fallen back a spot. Not going to be the feature performance that he's looking for, and he's going to go around. Oh, big hit. Oh, man, that may be it for Colin Kortnick. We're going to go on board with the 32. Oh, man, his car just carries around and then into the barrier. Big hit. as he has gotten rolling, but falls to 7th, and he'll battle with Scott Kim now, the 2 Porsches, duking it out for the final spot. Top 2 about a half a lap ahead. Still neck and neck here. Matthew Gazenda starting to lose pace with them. I think it's really just a matter of the draft. He's about 7/10 a lap slower. Bruce Wiley, David Curtis fighting for 4th and 5th. Definitely more spaced out in this race, but still a few battles to be had on track. You've got the battle for the lead, battle for 4th and 5th, then battle for 7th and 8th, the 2 Porsches. Kind of surprising to see that Bruce was not been able to make up more ground, seeing how fast he was in race number 1. But I think he might still have a shot at a podium finish. He's going to try and take a peek. Driver's left. David Curtis not going to have any of that. Going to hold off for that charge. Could also be because these top 2 just putting down blistering laps right now. Aaron Dietrich running nearly his fastest lap that time. And then Perry Duncan also very quick right now. Not a great sequence of corners right there. Almost lost the car, I think. And losing about a half second in the process. But Aaron goes off track. Gonna give some of that right back. We'll do our run through the field here in just a moment as we are approaching the halfway point. Change for position, 4th and 5th. Bruce Wiley now makes the pass through turn 8. We'll see if he starts to mount a charge towards the top spot. He'll have 10 minutes to gain about 7.5 seconds. And he'll have about 7.5 laps to do it. As your race leader is going to be Aaron Dietrich right now, started 3rd. He's led 5 of the 7 laps that have been completed. Perry Duncan started in 4th. Very good start to the race, up to 2nd. Going to try and get a better finish than the heat race where he was closing in on the lead in the final laps to make a mistake. Matthew Gazenda has led 2 laps in this one. Made a mistake. He's back to 3rd right now, but still very strong start to the feature race. Bruce Wiley up 2 positions. We'll see what he's able to do from here. David Curtis up to 5th from 8th. Mike Nickham started 2nd. Went off course in the final turn of lap 1. Finds himself in 6th position. Scott Kim got sent around at the top of the hill. Or rather, I believe it was coming down the hill. Finds himself in 7th. And Colin Kortnick back in the 8th position. Heavy damage to the nose of that Porsche after slamming it head on into the barrier. Still able to continue, which is impressive. That is your run through the field. We do appreciate you tuning in here to V-Speed 2. Make sure to tell your friends about the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter Sim Racing League. The great races that they put on each and every Thursday night right here. We do appreciate if you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It does help us out a lot. Also got our main V-Speed channel as well, where you can find racing action Fridays and Saturdays throughout the summer. And we'll be back with Mondays and Tuesdays over there on that one coming up in the future as well. We do have racing action here on Friday nights with the Champion Motorsports League on V-Speed 2. They are not racing tomorrow. They got a couple of weeks off, but they'll be back towards the end of the month. Looking forward to more great racing action from that league. And that is presented by Eddie Smith and Alec Martinez right here on V-Speed 2. A couple of great commentators and producer. We've also got the V-Speed Racing Network, which is kind of our tertiary channel. You can check them out. They've got some races throughout the week as well. Just added that to the V-Speed Sim Racing family of networks. And excited for some good stuff over there coming up. So check out all of that stuff, all of those different broadcasts throughout the week here presented by V-Speed. We really do appreciate you once again for tuning in. Just 7 minutes left in this race from Willow Springs, race 5 of the season. And so far, so good for Aaron Dietrich, who has dominated this race. And I believe he has a couple of feature wins already this season, trying to get another one in what would be the debut race for these drivers here at this track. It's a historic racetrack here in California, 1 hour north of LA. We got Brian Kennedy in the chat, one of the drivers, many-time winner here in this league. Very good driver at Lime Rock Park, experiencing a tornado warning. And I did hear about tornado warnings up in Canada today. I know some of our drivers are from Canada, so hopefully all their friends and family are safe. I know there's some activity up by Ottawa, Montreal, other places around there. Very unusual to get some activity in those regions. It's not far from where I am here in upstate New York. We definitely had some wild weather throughout the afternoon today. It's been nice and clear and sunny. Now it's nighttime, so the sun is not out, but it was out for much of the afternoon, as it is here at Willow Springs. The top two within a straightaway of each other, but they have driven away from Matthew Gazenda, who's just going to try and hang on to this podium position. He is about 1.6 seconds up the road from Bruce Wiley, who's trying to get 2 podium finishes in tonight's races, and that would be very impressive, having charged from the back in both of them. David Curtis, winner of that first race, has charged up to 5th, and he's got good speed. His lap time is consistent with the top 2, but finds himself just too far back. But no real battles at the moment. Closest one is 4th and 5th, right here, about a second between them. Aaron Dietrich just driving away at this point, half a second quicker on lap 11 than Perry Duncan. Perry hanging on in second. Really nice run for him in his return, and we did see a comment in chat cheering him on, welcoming him back to the series. Man, this is starting to tighten up here. Matthew Gazenda, probably seeing that red and white Canada BMW M4 GT4 closing in. The gap just over 1 second with 3.5 minutes left in the race. It's going to come down to the wire for the final podium position. The battle first and second really has dissolved at this point. Perry Duncan might be in preservation mode. He struggled at the end of the last race with a mistake at this part of the track. Went around into the barrier and cost himself a podium finish, but looking to get back up onto the podium here for the feature race. And Bruce Wiley continuing to close in this time, though I'm not sure he was going to be fast enough to get there. He'll get a hint of the draft down the front stretch. And a great run out of the final corner. That is going to keep him now under 1 second in the battle for third place. Gazenda hanging on right now, keeping it about a 1 second margin. The top two going to be coming back around. Ooh, I heard a little issue there from Aaron Dietrich, a little slip of the clutch or an issue shifting. Gotta be careful with that. Don't want to cost yourself so late in the event. But here is Bruce Wiley tracking down Gazenda. The gap, 2 car lengths now. As we may go an extra lap in this race. It's going to be really tight coming to the line. Yeah, we're not going to get the white flag just yet. We're about a second or two between the timer and when they'll get back to the start-finish line. So probably about a second on the clock. And we'll see if Aaron Dietrich actually just backs off to end the race. It would actually simplify things for him. He wouldn't have to go another lap. Meanwhile, battle for third could be over by the end of this lap. We've got to stick on board with this battle. Gazenda has it. Wiley wants it. That's the third spot. The 52 up on the curb there. Here we go. 67 Wiley. Good entry at the top of the hill, and he's going to get a great run off the exit. Going to be right there and a little bit out of sorts through the S-bend. And Matthew Gazenda, defensive driving position. We'll keep an eye on Aaron Dietrich. It is going to be so tight coming back to the stripe. But we're side by side for third. Could be coming to the checkered. Could be coming to the white. It's going to be so tight right here. And the checkered flag is showing. I believe that is going to do it. So let's keep an eye on the battle for third. Gazenda has it. Here comes Bruce Wiley. Drag race coming to the stripe. It's going to be Bruce Wiley. Wow, what a battle there as they are done. I can't believe how tight that was with the timer. But obviously they gave up just enough at the end, and Bruce Wiley able to hang on to it. Let's go back and take a look at the replay and see how he got it done. Oh man, just a little bit of slip up right there from Matthew Gazenda. And that was your finish right there. The difference, 1/10 of a second by the end of it. So what a great race here tonight at Willow Springs, and great battle for the podium. And Aaron Dietrich is going to be your race winner in the feature event. Congrats to Aaron on that one. We're going to be back to interview him as well as the rest of the top three and one of our drivers of the race right after a quick commercial break. From the starting line to the finish line and everything in between, Duncan Racing Designs is here to supply you with the livery you didn't know you needed. Let DRD help you look good so you can drive fast. Contact Duncan Racing Designs on Instagram, trading paints, or via email. SEOMike helps businesses of all sizes achieve higher search engine rankings to drive more traffic and increase sales. Contact SEOMike today for a free website evaluation and quote. Mention this ad for 15% off your initial setup. SEOMike, marketing websites on the internet since 1997. Visit SEOMike.com. Back at the racetrack, and we're going to be pulling in our race winner here for the feature event. That is going to be Mr. Aaron Dietrich. Aaron, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy? Well, man, a little bit of a walk in the park there. You had Perry pretty close behind you. You had, I think, Matthew Gazenda as well at one point leading this race, but you got the lead and were able to hold on and eventually drive away there. What was it that you were doing that allowed you to pull away and really make it a comfortable win? And you did pull away over 4 seconds to take the win here. And first time at this track, how did you feel about coming out here to Willow Springs? Yeah, definitely great to come out here and win in your first race with the league, at this racetrack. And we've got, see what we got coming up next. It's going to be, I don't know how to say this place. Osterleben. I can't remember. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we raced there a couple seasons back. It'll be interesting to see you guys do battle out there. But anybody want to give a shout out to for the feature win? Awesome. Well, you know what? I actually did not have your audio coming through, so we're going to just go through it again. So they can actually hear you. I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, I guess if you want to just give your shout outs, we can just do it that way. Yeah. Or actually, I guess just give your rundown of the race there again for us. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Yeah, I'm trying not to make a habit of screwing up the first race and putting me towards the front on the second race, but had an unfortunate incident with Bruce, so we talked it over and apologized to him about that. But yeah, I had Perry filling up my mirror and was distracting me there for a few laps for sure, keeping the pressure on, and finally just kind of put my head down, concentrated, made sure to hit my spots, get good exits before the long straights to keep up the speed, and eventually built up enough of a gap I didn't have to worry about them. So
yeah, and definitely comfortable win. And anybody you want to give a shout out to again?
Yeah, to Perry. He did my livery, and he's got most of the guys on the track liveries, making everybody look good. So appreciate him always doing that and sponsoring the league. And also shout out to SEOMike for also the sponsor.
Awesome, Aaron. Well, thanks for doing 2 interviews in one, and we'll get that right the next time. But great win here tonight, and we'll catch you next week.
All right, sounds good.
All right, thank you. Sorry about that, everybody. Didn't have his audio coming through for the interview at first, but he appeased us there and gave us a second shot at it. Let's go with Perry Duncan now for second place finisher in his return. Perry, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
I copy. How are you doing?
Hey, pretty good, man, and welcome back. What a great set of races for you out here. I know the heat didn't end quite the way you wanted it to, but man, just describe your night here at Willow Springs.
Oh, it was a great night. We had a great practice last night, and I've been, because I had nothing else to do, been practicing this track for the last week or so. So I'm glad the car was as fast as I hoped it would be, and managed to stay in front of a lot of faster people and catch up in the first heat and the second, the feature race. Aaron and I just managed to push out ahead and stay there. So it was a good night, good fun racing.
Yeah, I think in that heat race, you were really closing with just a couple of laps. Do you think you just overdid it there, and you kind of lost the back end coming up the hill? I think is what happened.
Yeah, exactly. Colin was a bit slow through that section, and I think I got a little bit greedy on the gas, trying to get out of that, the uphill part, and it just spun around on me.
Yeah, we saw that happen to a few drivers tonight in that same exact spot, so must be something to do with the weight transfer, and obviously not a lot of time at this track. But did you enjoy your first race here with the league at Willow Springs?
Yeah, absolutely. It was good to be back with the league. It's been since September, I think, maybe even longer, and this was a great race to come back to.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fun. Even with the small field, I think you guys put on a great show, and very entertaining to watch you wheel it out there in the desert. But anybody want to give a shout out to for the second place finish tonight?
Yeah, just, you guys at V-Speed 2 for broadcasting, all the organizers, Scott Kim, the stewards, everybody with the National Capital Chapter that puts this on, SEOMike, and, I've got some fans and friends watching tonight, so I'm glad we actually were able to broadcast it. So my parents and a buddy down in Richmond that's helping with some car stuff, so really glad they could tune in tonight.
Oh yeah, definitely fun to put on the show here at Willow Springs. I really didn't want to miss this one, so I just wanted to confirm that everybody was still given the green light for the broadcast. So appreciate all you do for the league, and welcome back, and we will catch you next week.
Yeah, absolutely. See you then.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, let's go to third place finisher. That is going to be Bruce Wiley. Pull him in. Bruce, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Adam.
Well, Bruce, you had your work cut out for you here tonight. You started towards the back of, you started at the back in race one and ultimately ended up on the podium. And man, you had to charge from sixth in this one and ended up there in a dramatic last lap pass that we're actually seeing in the replay right now. But man, just describe your night and all those passes you had to make.
Well, the first race I got knocked off the track in lap one, so that was a tough slog back to the podium in the first race. And second race was two long battles. One was with Dave, and finished that at the halfway mark, and then had that long fight with Matt, and had just enough time to get it done on the last lap, last corner. He made an error, and I was able to capitalize.
Yeah, and you just nosed ahead there coming to the start-finish line and made for a very dramatic final podium position battle. That was the leaders had kind of driven away and were pretty spaced out, but you kept it interesting for us, so appreciate you doing that. And looked like it was a fun time out there. Did you enjoy your first race here at Willow Springs?
Oh, I loved it. That was a lot of fun. I know there weren't many cars in this race. From my point of view, I was battling the whole time. There might as well have been 20 cars.
Yeah, that's what especially that first race. I think most of the drivers were packed up there for about 2 or 3 laps, and then you had 4 or 5 car group out in the front, and even a smaller group towards the back. So everybody was around someone at most points throughout the night. So definitely entertaining to watch. But we go to I think it's Osterleben next week. Have you raced out there, or how do you feel about going out there?
I've just done AI races out there. Just got the track and been trying it. It's a lot of fun. I think I'm gonna enjoy that one even more than this one.
Yeah,
So,
I think it should be a good one. I remember we did a broadcast at that track I think a couple of seasons ago, and it was a pretty entertaining one. So yeah, we'll see how you do out there, if you can get yourself on the podium a couple weeks in a row. But anybody want to give a shout out to for third place here tonight?
Oh, I'm gonna give a shout out to Betty Ann, my wife, for for letting me do this at a practice twice a week. So I appreciate that. And then SEOMike and Duncan Racing, thanks for sponsoring.
Awesome,
And
Bruce.
yourself for broadcasting.
I appreciate that, and thanks for putting on a good show for us, and we'll catch you next week.
See you then. Bye.
All right. That is Bruce Wiley. And everybody's pretty much left our chat here, so I think that's probably going to do it for the evening. Go back to our race winner again. That is Aaron Dietrich, winner here tonight at Willow Springs. Congrats to him in the number 270 University of Kentucky machine, as we will go now through our full race results. Just 8 drivers in this one. Only one lead change. That was between Matthew Gazenda and Aaron Dietrich. Perry Duncan put up a fight as well, but Aaron takes the win. Perry Duncan comes home in second. Bruce Wiley able to nose out in third there. Coming to the line, Matthew Gazenda, he's going to come home in fourth. Scott Kim with the top 5 in this race. David Curtis going to finish in the 6th position. 7th was Mike Nickham. And Colin Kortnick going to come home in the 8th spot after an early exit in the feature this evening. But we do want to thank you for tuning in here to V-Speed 2. Appreciate you tuning in and supporting the channel. We will be back here next week. You may hear a different voice on the broadcasts. I will be out of town, so I think it's going to be Bradley Cooper. Could be Eddie Smith as well. Either way, you're going to get some great racing coverage from Osterleben, and looking forward to watching that one potentially while on the road. Hopefully they put on a good show for us here. But thank you again for tuning in. Thanks to the sponsors and, of course, the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter Sim Racing League for their support and their great racing each and every week. We will catch you all next time.